And we're talking lima beans and pineapple upside down today. Not in the same dish, I promise you. Although it could be awful, and we could uh, we could put a lima bean in one of our cupcakes, but we're not going to do that. Speaking of lima beans, I will not tell you how many days old I was when I found out. I grew up calling this a butter bean, and I called this a lima bean, and I thought they were very different things. Turns out they're not. They're actually the same thing picked at a different time. I believe these are younger, and once they mature a little more, they become these. Um, but I make them in 3 different ways. The first thing we're going to do, because we started with these, which were dry beans, and you can use a can. I have no problem with that. I think y'all know that by now, kind of like your barefoot neighbor. You do you, boo, whatever works. I happen to have a bag of dried beans. I soak them for about somewhere between 7 and 8 hours. I know they're supposed to go 8 to 12, but you know what? Things happen. So we've got that. And apparently you can't see the Instant Pot, so I'm going to try to pull it into frame a little bit. We're going to start that up right away. It is full. I don't know, you probably can't see, but it is almost to the top with beans and water. So we are going to, I always struggle with this when it's on this side of the table. All right, you. There you go. That's why I have help. All right. So there is a bean button, believe it or not. It says bean/chili. And I'm going to press, oh no, we don't need 30 minutes. Cancel. We're going to go regular pressure. We're going to go manual, and we are going to go 15 minutes because we're going to cook them some more when we're done. So that's just to get them cooked. Okay, so they're on their way to doing their thing. And then I'm going to talk about these guys again, the green ones. I buy these frozen. This is my favorite type of bean, lima bean. It's my favorite type of bean, period. And it's as simple as we pop these guys in a pan, we cover them with water, and we cook them. That's it. And then when they're done cooking, we drain them, we add butter, and that's it for that type. Now, I'm going to do 2 other things with the butter, what I call butter beans today. We're going to make if you're from the South, it would be similar to pintos and cornbread. And we're going to make some cornbread here in a minute. And then we're going to make a bean soup that I absolutely love. So, hey, Cami, good to have you here. Is it Cami or Camila? Whichever, Camila, I think it is. Thanks for joining us. We're making beans today. So, I'm gonna ask my IT guy. I'm just covering up some lima beans right now to get them cooking. And I'm gonna ask my IT guy to put those on the stove on I think a medium-low heat is gonna do us for a while. And then turn on my oven to 325 because we're going to make some cupcakes here in a few minutes. But we're going to start with some cornbread because I'm going to assume it's Camila unless you tell me otherwise. But Camila, if you're there, tell me what's your favorite way to eat. If you like lima beans, if you don't like lima beans, let me know. And we'll talk about that. But a little higher than that, please. Awesome. Okay. And then if you would be so kind just to put that in and melt it. So, hi, Ella. Good to see you. Oh, thank you. We are going to make ourselves some gluten-free cornbread. And we're melting some butter for that right now. And yes, a mix is fine. I'm going to make this gluten-free cornbread. We're also making butter beans. I'm going to make just like a country butter bean, and then I'm going to make a bean soup today. So, and in addition to that, we're also going to make some pineapple upside down cake, because today is, in the United States, it is National Lima Bean Respect Day and National Pineapple Upside Down Day. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with that. So we're starting with our gluten-free cornbread mix. And then I've got a couple of eggs here. Actually, I'm going to put the butter in first, because then I put the eggs in, because I have a habit of getting shells into things. So, you know, truth. But awesome. I'd love it if you'd stay. And if you guys want to tell me, and hi, Kaylin, thanks for coming in. Oh, you're 12. Okay, awesome. Well, then stick around. Maybe we'll teach you some things about cooking. I've been cooking since I was your age. So I've been cooking a very long time. And I have a granddaughter just a few years younger than you. So anyway, if you guys want to tell me where in the world you're from, I would love to know, because we get people from all over, and that's kind of fun to know where everybody's coming from. And rinsing off the hands as we make our little messes. When the messes get bigger, then I put on the gloves. So, okay. I'm gonna, where did it go? Well, I had one. Nope. I had a whisk and it has disappeared. All right, I'm gonna have to go grab a whisk here. Hang on 1 second. There it is. It was over on the sink. All right. Can you get me the milk, please? So I try to be ready for these every week, but y'all, I always forget one or two things. So, hello in Montreal. You guys are not too, you're pretty far north. You're just straight north of us, I think. So hi, Freya from the UK. The very bottom. What are you like near? Is that, what is it? Devon? Is Devon down that way? I think. I don't know. You've got a new boyfriend into gaming. Okay, my son. I have two sons that are gamers. One used to be, but he's a dad now. So, all right. And I don't know about you, but I always smell the milk just to make sure it's okay. All right. So, and my IT guy is very happy because he tried something for the first time to remind you guys to subscribe if you're having fun and you're here to learn. Because we make something different every week. We're actually going to go live every day this week. We're going to have a few that are longer, like this one. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to make some vegetable soup, and then we're going to make a treat with chocolate-covered nut treat, and then we are going to, I forget what Wednesday is. I really do. But then Thursday, I think it is picnic food. We're going to make some gluten-free picnic food. Some of it is naturally gluten-free. Some of it we're going to adapt. So that's just kind of how it goes. All right, we've got this all mixed up. And when you do gluten-free baking, and sometimes you do this with cornbread anyway, for those who don't eat cornbread on the regular, you often sit your cornbread to the side. And when you bake gluten-free stuff, you often sit it to the side too, because it just has a better texture when it's finished. So while we're waiting for that, I know I got out the pan for this. I am just like, I'm all over the place today. All right, so I don't know where my pan went, so I'm going to go get another one. Thank goodness they're right here. Um, Ooh, desiccated coconut cake. That sounds so good. My son would hate that. Uh, he doesn't like coconuts. I do, though. I think it's wonderful. All right, so I'm going to grab out a 9x9. That's why I keep a lot of my stuff here because it's right where I can reach it. And while we're waiting, I am going to grab a little butter and I'm going to grease the pan. So, oh, okay. Hi, Rose. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Um, so tell me, Ella, what do you like? What's your favorite? What are your favorite games right now? Um, so okay. I'm a dog person, not a cat person. So, but I've had cats. I'm just more of a dog person. We actually have two dogs right now, both rescues, both stinkers in their own way, but rescues usually are. Um, but I always kind of feel like I'm made for little stinkers. I think kids who are little stinkers are funny. Um, so I have to watch myself so I don't get in trouble with my kids for laughing at my grandkids. Um, so I do my best to be a good nana, but also a good mom. So my kids aren't mad at me either. But anyway, so we're gonna butter that up. We're gonna put that to the side, and actually, our next thing, I buy these. These are biodegradable. That's why I don't mind using them. I wouldn't want to use the kind that aren't biodegradable, especially as much as I cook with them. So when I found those, I was really excited because I don't like touching some things like that. Butter's okay, but not my favorite. Um, okay, my IT guy will put the milk away. So, Roblox and Minecraft. Yep, my son was he was a Minecraft guy for a long time. Um, all right, and so we need that about 10 minutes. So about 10 till. All right, so we'll put that in about 10 till. Um, yeah. Well, that's how we ended up not having cats anymore, is because my brother was allergic to cats, and we found that out because he kept getting ear infections. So today is also Pineapple Upside Down Day, and we're going to make, rather than a cake, because I will be sharing these, um, we're going to make pineapple upside down cupcakes. Put these back real quick. All right, and real life, okay? I thought I bought slices, I bought chunks. So we're going to have to make a really quick work of this. And what we found is if we cut each tidbit in a quarter, that we could put them in here and still leave room for a maraschino cherry. So here's my question to you. If you eat pineapple upside down cake, I know some people don't like the cherry and some people do. So that's my question. Do you like the cherry or don't you? So I think I'm going to make half with and half without the cherry. So, um, New York City, Ingrid. Um, it's been years since I've been to New York City. I was there when I was in college. I had a roommate who lived there, and I got to go visit her, and that was great. Um, it's a lot though for me. I'm a Midwest girl. I live in a small city. I like it. I've lived in the state that I live in, Ohio, all my life, and I love traveling. So I love going places. I love meeting people. I love new experiences that way. I have a son who lives in a different city in Ohio, one that lives here with us, and one that lives in San Francisco. So we're kind of we're all a little all over the place. So that's, but I'm really excited because I'm going to get to see my son from California over Memorial Day weekend. So that'll be great. But, oh, there you go. My granddaughter has a hamster that she loves very, very much. She named her hamster Pumpkin. So, all right. So I'm just going to chop these up real quick, and then we're going to get to making the batter for these, which is going to be, again, I'm using a box today because, sometimes you just gotta. I'm not one to make cakes from scratch. I love watching people make cakes from scratch. I am a big fan of the Great British Bake Off. So a lot of the previous bakers, I follow them on their channels. I get to meet Stephen Carter Bailey next month. I'm really excited about that. He's gonna be somewhere. I get to do a meet and greet with him, so I'm excited about that. I follow Nadia. I follow Dylan. And if you don't watch the show, I don't know. There's just something about British competition shows that they make me happy, and I watch them. I watch the Great British Pottery Throwdown. I watch the Bake Off. I just started watching the Sewing Bee. So, so there you go. Biscoffee. I like that. Because I take it she's the color of Biscoff then. So, my husband loves to travel because we get Biscoff cookies when we travel. And since I'm gluten-free, if they don't have a gluten-free option for me, I always get the Biscoff cookies and he gets to eat them. So, so there you go. Oh, lovely. So you're in New York City. If you're still here, Ingrid, if you're in New York City, do you have a good kitchen that you can cook in? I know a lot of people don't. So that's always one of my favorite questions is do you have the facilities where you can cook the way you would like? Because goodness knows you have access to a lot of different cuisines if you don't. But pop that in there. So we've got all of our tops, if you will, of our cupcakes, even though they're on the bottom, which is why it's upside down. But we're going to move this out of the way, put that in the sink. And I almost made it to the sink without spilling, but not quite. Oh well, cleaned it up. There you go. So, Junior Bake Off. We do watch that, but Harry's a bit much for me. Just put it that way. I love Liam, but Harry's a bit much for me. So we don't always watch that one as religiously as we watch the regular Bake Off. So to make the cupcakes, I'm actually using an almond flour, so these are actually grain-free. So we'll see how they turn out. I've never used this mix before. And I usually use a clear bowl so you guys can see everything I'm doing, but for this one, I want the spout for pouring it into the cupcake molds. So we're going to start with this. But yeah, if you're in the United States and you can find on the Roku channel, they have it. And I don't know if BritBox or Acorn has them, but I know Roku has the older series of. And then I actually subscribe to a UK set of channels so that I can watch live. So at least for Bake Off, I haven't found the other two yet. I should just bring my garbage over here on cooking days and put it right here by me. Okay, so we've got our mix. It's got some lumps in it, so I'm gonna kind of stir those out. And then I'm going to do 3 eggs. So, you're fine. So, hi Elsa, welcome in. Okay, and we are making today, for those who are new or just coming in, we are making lima beans several ways. We are making cornbread to go with the lima beans, and we are making pineapple upside down cake. And why are we making those things? Well, today in the United States is not Lima Bean Respect Day, and it is Pineapple Upside Down Day. And we're making cupcakes instead of cake because I will share this because we will not eat all of them. So I share them with neighbors and family. So here's something that I realized today. I'm out of everything but olive oil, and I didn't want to put olive oil into these cupcakes. So I'm using a substitute. You can substitute applesauce, which I have a little bit of here, or you can use yogurt, which I have some of as well. So I'm going to do both of those. I'm going to do the applesauce. Well, maybe I'm not going to do the yogurt because I have just what I need. I needed 1/3 of a cup of oil. So I'm going to use applesauce instead. But you know what? I am going to throw a dollop in there of the yogurt just to give it a little extra protein. So sometimes with gluten-free baking, it tends to be a little dry. So when you add a little bit of extra moisture, that's always good. Just a dollop. So, let's put that right there. Cleaned off. A little bit of extra. Wipe my hands. Alrighty. So a perfect lasagna is something to be proud of. Lasagna is it's a thing. And a perfect pancake. There you go. Yes, Pancake Day. That is a over in the here in the United States, Pancake Day is a Protestant thing. Not a lot of Catholics do that because they do Fat Tuesday. And so this is vanilla bean paste, by the way. And I need 1/3 of a cup of water. So I'm going to grab that real quick. So yeah, Pancake Day is not a huge thing here, other than with some Protestant religions. So, anyway, and lemon and butter on pancakes. I am and my granddaughter actually started doing it without knowing I ever did it. But I like mine with just whipped cream on them. So I'm not a big syrup lover, neither is my granddaughter. So we're going to let this sit for about 5 minutes once I get this fully incorporated. Because again, letting gluten-free batter sit gives you a better outcome. But while we're waiting for that, I'm going to grab my pan for the cornbread. And I'm going to grab a spatula here real quick. Oh, I'm going to grab 2 while I'm here so I don't have to do this again. Oh, but all right, so I'm going to oh no. Got a wild hamster going on. All right. So we're going to put this in this 9x9. This is going to go for about 20-25 minutes. We actually gave it a little more than 10 minutes to sit. Because sometimes you just kind of lose track of time. If I was doing this by myself, I would probably have 80s music on, be dancing around my kitchen while I'm having that go on. And our beans aren't, it's getting hot though. They'll be going soon. All right, this goes in for, what was it, 20 minutes, I think I said? Let's see. Square pan, 20 minutes. Yep, at 425. So 425. I always put stuff underneath the basket when I use the air fryer, just in case it drips. Because, yeah, kind of a mess in there. Okay, so 425 for, what did I say? I don't even remember. 20 minutes? 20 to 25, it says. We're going to go 24. This tends to cook a little lower than it should. So, all right. And we've let that sit for just a few minutes. It's been almost 5. So we are going to pour this into the molds. So I like that. Free life. Sounds like free life, to be honest. And there is, you can start, I mean, get your parents' permission if you're under 21 or under 18, wherever you are, whatever your age is, wherever your country is. Don't just run off and do it, because I wish it were not this way, but especially if you're a female, you really need to protect yourselves. You need to look out for yourselves, and if people are looking out for you, you need to stay away from the creeps. And I know, because they've been around forever. I had my issues with them. Woo, that one's going to go over the top. But I want you all to be safe. I want everyone to be safe. And there are so many predators online, so you just got to be careful. So yeah, here's me being a Nana. Telling you guys to be careful. So, well, thank you. I appreciate it. If you want to tell me, Trudy, what part of the world are you watching from? I always love to know. I think it's always fun that this is the best part of the internet, is that I have met so many friends around the world. I have friends in Ireland. I have friends in Australia. I have friends in Great Britain. I have friends in Canada. I have friends in, I'm trying to think, the Philippines. Two sisters in the Philippines that I'm friends with. And it's so funny because sometimes when you get to know people, you end up knowing as much about them as the people in their real lives, because they can sometimes, they will tell you things. But see, that's where the danger is as well, is that you don't really know who you're talking to sometimes. In these cases, I do. I met them in a different way. I didn't just meet them in a chat room or something. I met these people in a creativity boot camp that we did 10 years ago. And we decided, we all kind of clicked. So we all decided to stay friends, and there were painters, and there were authors, and there were artists who drew, all kinds of things. So I'm going to pop these in the oven real quick, and these, I'm going to set the timer, so I will be right back. Okay, but so some of the people are really dear to me are people that I've met online, which is really, really cool. Sorry about this. Timer, 20 minutes. We're going to check them in 20. All right. Actually, I have more batter. I might throw a few more in there later, but I just don't have them prepared. So everything else goes in the sink for now. Okay. And These beans are starting to concern me because they're not going yet, but they only have 15 minutes to go once they get going. So fingers crossed that they'll be done and I won't be sitting here looking like a goofball, which I do anyway, but you know, it is what it is. I am just that person. So now when these beans are done, like I said, I'm going to make them two ways. One is going to be, there is a dish, a southern dish, usually made with pinto beans, which is just pinto beans and onions, and sometimes there's ham in it, and sometimes there's not. And then you eat it with cornbread, and it's just a simple country meal, and that's very nostalgic for a lot of people here. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm also going to do a soup that I love to make. It's pretty standard, I guess I should say. I have a couple little of my own secret ingredients, but um, well, thank you, Ella. I appreciate that. I love being a nana, so it's my favorite thing. So um, don't get me wrong, I love being a mom because I am I am the mom to 3 grown sons, and I adore them. And I am lucky enough to have 2 spectacular daughter-in-laws so far. And because only 2 of my sons are married. Ah, bad carrot. Yuck, gross, ew. All right, so, yikes. It's been a while since I've had a bad carrot. All right, let's see if I have any other bad carrots in there. All right, looks like the rest are good, but we are going to rinse those puppies because they've been around the icky one. So get any of the yuckiness off of there. And then we'll chop these up real quick. And that's, you know what, that's what cooking is a lot of times. It's just adaptability. You know, make sure you adapt to what you've got. And I'm going to grab a paper towel here so we don't drip all over the place. All right, that should help. So we're going to do a typical mirepoix. We're going to do, you know, your basic carrots, onions, and celery. So, yes, I will be back tomorrow at the same time. It will be about the same time tomorrow, and I'm going to be making a big pot of vegetable soup and a chocolate cashew dessert. So, Ella, thanks for being here. So, Old Soul, what was your childhood favorite? The beans, the pinto beans and cornbread? Was that something that you ate as a child? Because we all have our childhood favorites, don't we? So, yes, like I said, same time tomorrow. Ella, would love to see you there. Is it Francisca? Is that how I say it? So, okay. So we were talking about that. I'm going to do the same thing, but with butter beans. And this thing started to go, but then it stopped. So, it's still going. These beans are starting to concern me. Okay. Anyway, we're going to grab a knife. We're going to cut up these carrots, and we're going to cut them all up because we had a bad one. We don't want them to go bad. So I'm just going to do discs because they're easier. One of the neighborhood dogs is going crazy, which happens. I'm just going to grab one of these guys. We'll put them all in here. We'll put our carrots, onions, and celery together. Okay, bye, Ella. See you tomorrow. All I absolutely have no problem being an internet nana. I used to follow a couple of them. Uh, Italian nonas, as a matter of fact, they were. And I love it. I love watching it. I love watching them make things because Italian nonas, I'll tell you what, they make stuff that takes all day. And they they have my undying admiration for that. They just make those wonderful dishes that take hours and hours and hours. They have so much patience with it, and then some of them are even making their own pasta while they're doing it, which just blows me away. You know, I love a meal that cooks all day, but I like it to come together quickly. So I do a lot of crock pot cooking. I do a lot of instant pot cooking, things that can cook all day, but don't take me all day to make them, if that makes sense. So, um, especially the older I get, it's just harder to stand all the time than I used to. So I think that's why I mean, I know the nonas, some of them have help, some of them take a lot of breaks. A lot of the stuff that they make has, hooray, we finally reached pressure. So they're starting to cook. Um, but like when they make their sauce, oh my goodness, to watch sauce making day is something else, because I think the last one I watched, I want to say they had like 300 pounds of tomatoes. But then they can the sauce and they have enough sauce for an entire year. Enough red sauce. So, or great, some of them call it gravy. Depends on where they're from, I guess, in Italy. But that I always, again, I just admire watching those kind of processes that people take a long time to make. And my heritage is half German and half English. So um, I have a smattering of other things. Uh, but that tends to be I always say, if you go the northern arc of Europe, that's me. And I know they don't do French, but I've been told that, yeah, me too. I love Italian food. I loved it even more when I could eat gluten. So that put a damper on things. But I've also heard, and now I want to go to Italy more than I ever have, because I've heard that they have the best gluten-free pasta in the world, which, of course, why wouldn't they, right? But yeah, when I had to go gluten-free, I'm like, well, I guess I won't ever be going to Italy. And then I found out they have incredible Italian food, or a gluten-free Italian pasta. And I was like, oh, yeah, that would be the place to try it for sure. So, and you know, I always say with my channel, I try to cook things that are naturally gluten-free. Occasionally I adapt, like the cupcakes that I'm making, the cornbread that I'm making. Um, you know, I will do things like that. We have, I'm trying to think if there's anything that we make that I have adapted really well. And I mean, I've made some things that my family has enjoyed, but um, some of it we actually didn't make before. So that's been kind of funny. Is I make a lasagna that's not a lasagna. It's all the ingredients that I put in my lasagna, but I use like a rotini type of pasta instead. It's more like a baked ziti, but it's got a more of a lasagna kind of flavor. So, and it's one of those that takes a long time to cook. But every once in a while I do it because on a Sunday, because it's worth it. And let's not cut ourselves today. That would not be a good thing. So, um, so Old Soul, what's your favorite Italian food? Just curious. Is it something pasta related, or I mean, I used to love garlic bread. Oh, goodness gracious me. That was a favorite. Trying to think. I love what's the chicken dish I like? It's kind of like a caprese. Parmesan. Chicken parmesan. Um, so good. But, you know, if they dredge it in flour, I got a problem. I'm going to be sick for 3 days. So, anyway. So, Old Soul, are you from the South? Since you said beans and cornbread used to be one of your favorite things. I tend to think you are. Oh, lasagna with hot sausage and garlic bread. You and my husband would get along really, really well. He likes spicy. I'm not a big fan. And he loves garlic bread. Y'all would be really good friends. Um, he always has hot sauce of some kind standing by when I cook because I make good flavor, but if he wants a little spice, that's what he does, is adds that in. So um, every once in a while, we have a son who likes really spicy food too. And one or the other of them, I make a really good chili, and then they'll spice it up. They'll take part of the batch for themselves, and they add habaneros to it. And something I definitely could not eat, but um, they love it. So, and my husband makes, from what I've been told, again, I haven't tried it because I'm just a big baby about spice. He makes a habanero salsa, a pineapple habanero salsa that people just rave when they try it. So, um, okay, it's funny because I've been accused of being sounding Southern, which I think is hilarious. Um, I am from Ohio, and people are like, "You sound like you're from the South." I'm like, "My dude, we border Canada. We're not South." I happen to be in the south part of that state. I also happen to be across the river from Kentucky. So if you're familiar, if you're from out of this country and you're familiar with the states, I live across the river from Kentucky, which is the South. Although there are arguments about that. Everyone I know who's from Kentucky will tell you they're from the South. But I have been further south and they're like, well, they're barely south. And I'm like, they would fight you over that. Oh, these ways we identify ourselves, right? So, um, but yeah, so it's funny. And then, you know, you find out, and this is why I think travel is so important. When you start traveling, you find out things that are just so different, and sometimes things that you didn't know were just unique to where you live. And I I'm from Cincinnati, and we have a very strong German tradition. As a matter of fact, I think it's still this way, that we have the largest Oktoberfest outside of Munich. It's huge, and it's a 3-day event, and people come from all over the place to come to our Oktoberfest. We used to be the beer capital of the country. Um, we still have a lot of. It went away for a while, and now it's kind of back. We have a lot of craft breweries here. So, do some celery here, and I will do leaves and all. By the way, fun tip: if you want celery to last longer, store it in aluminum foil. That is 2 weeks old, and it looks as fresh as the day I bought it. So that's pretty cool. Just making sure those brown spots are just brown spots on there. I will also use these. I'll use the leaves in soups. But anyway, I found out when I started to travel, I had no idea that we are the only place in the United States that instead of saying what or huh or pardon or something to that effect, we say please, as in please repeat that. So I didn't know that. And as a kid, that's how I was raised. And I don't think it's as prevalent as it was when I was a child. But the first time we traveled far away from Cincinnati that I can remember, we went out west and we were, I think Colorado is where we were. And somebody said something to me and I said, please. And they went, oh, you're from Cincinnati. I was like, how did you know that? And they said, nobody else says please. When they mean what? So the things you learn, right? But I also found out a lot of people thought I was Southern because I say y'all. It is something I picked up from being, I guess, this close to the South. And one of my friends who made the most fun of me was from Minnesota. And she moved to Charleston when we first got out of college. And she spent several years there. Her then husband was in the military. And we met up at a college reunion. We were college friends. And she said, she was talking and all of a sudden she says, you know, y'all should do this or y'all should do that. I just started laughing. I was like, y'all, where did y'all come from? She's like, I know, now that I live there, it's such a good word. So it was funny. So, but definitely travel is a big thing for me. I always say I have travel in my soul. And it's funny because I have several cousins on my father's side of the family that they're the same. We love to travel. We love to go. Some have gone further than others. I have one cousin. She's single, has always been single. And she has gone either by herself or with friends, with one friend generally. She's been to Egypt. She's been to Cambodia. She went to Petra. She was in Jordan. She's been all over the place, and she often travels alone. So, kudos to her. She wants to go, she goes. She works as a traveling nurse, and when she's ready to take some time off and travel, she does. So I think that's really cool. But several of my cousins, one of my cousins just finished, he did a 60 mile run in Morocco. It's over, I want to say 6 or 7 days. It's long. Actually, I don't think it's 60. I think it's like 160. But anyway, it is this really long. It makes an Ironman look like nothing as far as running. But he did it and he finished it. So kudos to him. And that was my girl cousin. That's her brother. So that I was talking about. And he ended up, he actually lives in Scotland and has stayed there. Even though he's no longer married, his kids are there. So he stays in Scotland. So, and I have another cousin who was in the Navy who traveled all over the world. So, got some travelers. I've only been to 4 countries other than the United States. I think that's right. I've been to the Bahamas. I've been to Canada. I've been to Mexico, and I have been to England. So I got to go to England when I was in college with a college group. So yeah, I know. Isn't that cool that she got to do that? She did all that stuff. I'm so enamored by her. I'm the oldest of the girl cousins, of the girl cousins. I was the first girl after 4 boys. So they were kind of excited when I was born. But so I'm the oldest girl, and she's, I believe, the second youngest girl. So, Mr. IT man, you still with me? I'll have him come in so I don't have to get off the. So, can you just turn on the light and I'll take a look at it. In the oven, silly. You turned on the stovetop light. That's great. All right, can you open the thing for me? All right, here, I'm going to tell you what to do. If you can pull those out and just kind of touch the top of one of them, just like, don't burn yourself, like, don't touch it that long, but you know what I'm saying? Looks like they're not jiggly, right? Are they springy or are they? I'll be right back. All right, so we're going to touch them. You know what? Give them two more minutes and then we'll take them out. So, Old Soul, have you been around the planet a while? Since you sounds like you have lived a couple of different places. If you've cooked for a while, like me, sometimes rather than going by timing, you go by how things look or how things feel. I don't know if you're in that same boat. I don't know if old soul means young person with an old soul or just an old soul. So, hooray! Our beans are done, but we're going to let them natural. I love making stuff in an Instant Pot, and then you just let the natural pressure release go. So, and the other thing, so Old Soul, don't be mad at me, but I don't like raw onions. So when I have beans with onions, I always saute my onions first because I don't like raw onions. I have a palate where things can take over. If there's a really predominant flavor and it's not a flavor I particularly like, it just takes over the dish for me, and it's like I can't taste anything else in the dish, and then I just taste that taste in my mouth. And raw onions do that for me. It's just a taste that doesn't go away for me. And so if I saute them and I mellow them out a little bit, then I love it. But not raw. So I also have, and it makes me sound so picky, and I hate being a picky eater, but I have the cilantro gene. And I did not know that until I was an adult. And I always wondered why some things in Mexican restaurants tasted like soap. And I thought that their water tasted soapy. And then I realized that taste, while it tastes very fresh to some people, is in, it's kind of in everything. And it's pervasive to me. And it smells like soap. And it was funny because I never knew if dry coriander would give me that, because like with the onions, if I cook the onions, they're fine. So I made a dish that called for coriander seed, and I got the coriander seed, and you were supposed to crush it up, and I used my spice mill to crush it up, and I opened it up, and I'm like, oh my goodness, just put it right in the soap. So anyway, okay. Oh yeah, that's much better. All right, those are done. Okay, so we've got our carrots, onions, and celery. So, oh, that got done too. There we go. All right. Thank you for that. I will check that one too, see if it's done. All right. What? Oh, okay. The boss is telling me he needs a cooling rack. So I will pull one out of here for him. Okay. And he's going to put those, if you put the milk away, you've got room then. And I'm going to close up the maraschino cherries, because the last thing I want is for that to go sideways. I do not need maraschino cherry juice all over the place. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see if this guy's done. Oh, look at that. He's beautiful. Okay. All right, why don't you put that down? You're so proud of yourself, aren't you? Don't take them off until they cool. So, all right, he popped out all of those. Look at it. Look at it. Isn't it gorgeous? All right, we're going to let that cool just a little bit. I'm just going to leave that sit right here with the door open. That'll be good. Okay. So that's the other thing. I wouldn't cook all this stuff normally in one day, to be honest. I would make the beans, I would chill them off, and then I'd make all this stuff tomorrow. But I do this stuff on camera just because it's, I don't know, just kind of fun to do, I think. But, so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that cornbread with some butter on it. Yum. Now, there's another brand called Krusteaz, and I love them. And I've made theirs. Theirs is a honey cornbread. So if you're a Southerner, I don't want to offend, but yeah, I'm a Yankee when it comes to my cornbread. I like sweet cornbread. So if you're a Southerner who likes non-sweet cornbread, have at it. Nice catch. He is slowly backing away. Oh, goodness me. But I'm going to cut this onion up for the beans and onions. But I'm going to kind of rough chop those because I don't mind if they're bigger. I just need them cooked. So, oh, goodness me. But, so our beans, like I said, we've let them sit for about 5 minutes, which is good. We'll go about at least 5 more. And that's fine. And then I don't like to waste. I don't know about you, but food waste bothers me. And I have a friend who lives out in San Francisco, and that's what she does. She's retired now. She and her husband are both retired, and they work at the food rescue every day. I think that's so cool. So, I'm gonna grab my hot plate here. I love this thing. This has made doing this job much, much easier because I've got people who I can do this right here instead of trying to figure out to do it at my stove, which was, it always scared me. So I didn't do it. Oh, yeah. It's like I feel a breeze. He opened the window for me because it is warm in here. And last week, I was sweating like crazy. So I am going to grab some oil real quick, which I forgot to get out. And so I've said I would love to actually, you know what? I'm going to do one thing before I start that. Well, no, I'm not. Because I need the tray. So, sweet cornbread with lots of butter. Yes, that's exactly how I eat it. So, it's like, I'm sorry, people, if you don't like that. I am so sorry for you. Okay. So, I'm going to do some oil. And then when that gets shimmery, I'm going to turn that up a little bit to get it shimmery faster. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to, hopefully we'll be at 10 minutes by the time I'm ready to throw some of the beans in there. I'm going to grab one of these guys so I can pull the beans out and put some in here. So, and you know what? I say all the time that you got to do what's right for you. It's funny because I bought these, and I'm probably going to use these tomorrow when I make vegetable soup. I have never, in my knowledge, other than, at a restaurant, I know I've never bought a can of lima beans, and I know my mother never served a can of lima beans. So I want to try them just to see what it's like. Okay, it's not shimmery yet, but it's getting there. Turn it up a little more. So I'll toss the onions in, saute those up for a little bit, and then I'll put some beans in there, and we go from there, right? So, and it's a simple dish: some salt, some pepper. Uh, Again, this is a Cincinnati thing that I didn't know was a Cincinnati thing. Um, but now there's smoked ham, smoked pork shoulder, all that kind of stuff everywhere. But where I live, we either call it a cottage ham or we call it a cottage blood. And so I did not know that. And it was so funny because when my uncle moved away from here, he was in the service, he would pay my mom to bring them to him. Okay, I think we're to the point where it's gonna sizzle now. Well, let's find out. Yep. Not quite flat, as you can tell. So, um, but we make a lot of dishes with cottage ham in them. So it's some of my favorite dishes. When we instead of string beans and ham, we use a cottage ham. So okay, we're about 10 minutes out with those beans while that's sauteing. Let's still drink real quick. And I'm gonna see what we got here for. Woo! Oh, yep. I'm gonna stop it because that's what I was afraid was gonna happen. There's a lot of water in there, so it hasn't had enough time to pressure release and get rid of all the it started spewing water. So we don't want that. Now I can put something on it, but the amount of water that it just spewed out, that's a lot. So I don't want to deal with that. So we'll give it a few more minutes because it will natural pressure release. So. And that's real life, and that's why a lot of people are afraid of pressure cookers because they do that. So all you got to do is stop the pressure, at least with an Instant Pot. Um, the other thing is, like people talk about them exploding. The nice thing about an Instant Pot is they've got, if it has too much pressure, it's got an automatic shut off. So that's a beautiful thing. So. But I will also put something over it next time I do it just to make sure. But my onions are going. I'm going to turn those down, way down, so that they can do their thing. Give it about 2 more minutes. Let's see how our cupcakes are getting cooler. Yep. But while we wait, because we can, we're gonna we'll grab a piece of the cornbread and see if it's any good. Like I said, I've done the Krusteaz brand, so I'll be interested to see how this compares. So, and this is one of those things that even gluten-free, my family, at least with the Krusteaz, they've always said, oh, this is just as good as the regular. So that's good. Okay, I'm going to turn this upside down because this will be awesome. Ah, all right, you. Behave yourself. Take that off the heat for a minute. I'm going to grab some butter here. My knife is hot, so it's kind of melting the butter. There we go. Got some up there. And a little more. Just turned it way down. All right, this is really, really hot, so hopefully I don't burn my mouth. But So we're going to try this. This is King Arthur brand. So come on now, behave yourself. Okay. It's good. It's good. I know it's not solid on the bottom. It's warped a little bit. I mean, I'll be married 33 years, and I came with this really good reviewware. Pardon me for that. Oh, this is so good, you guys. It's a different grind. It's got a little more texture to it, if that makes sense. Almost like grits. Yeah, it's still spewing water. So, but it took a little longer. Ouch, get there. Ouch, that's hot. So, as we still wait on this, doggone it. So I'm going to remove this one to a safe place. And I'm going to get working on the soup. Since I can do that, and while we wait for that for the pressure to release in that one. So this one's a little flatter. It's not going to dance. So and welcome in, Christy. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to go back up to the higher temperature, and we'll get that in there, and hopefully that'll start sizzling. And while we're waiting, I'm going to take another bite of cornbread because it is good. It depends on what you like. If you like the texture where it's got some texture to it, you're going to like this better than the Crusties. If you like it more on that like honey sweet side, I think you're going to prefer the Crusties. I'll eat either one. I think they're really good. That's me. That set is over 30 years old, but it's still really good. Other than that one bottom being a little warped. And I have my regular stove is a gas stove, so it sits fine on that one because of the way burners are for the gas stove. So you're back, Ella. You're back. Hi, Ella. And those work pots cook just fine, don't they, Christy? Okay, I think this is ready to go. I'm just going to use this real quick since that's what's right here. This is the carrots and onions and celery I chopped up a little bit ago. And that'll be my mirepoix for the soup. So here's the thing. Out of one bag of beans, I'm going to get some soup. I'm going to have some onions and beans, which are similar to onions and pintos, if you're familiar with that in the U.S. And then I will probably have enough that I could make something else as well. So beans are just so economical, especially if you use the dried ones. I don't always do that. A lot of times I'll just use the can, which I'm perfectly okay with. Hey, Mr. IT guy, will you get me the garlic, please? So, well, Ella, we finished the cupcakes. They're cooling right now. We finished the cornbread. Looks gorgeous and it tastes good. I tried that new, so that's a new brand for me to try, the King Arthur that's gluten free. I think my family will enjoy it. All right. Yes, it's controversial. I'm still using it. Some days, I mean, I love garlic, and I have a lot of it. And yes, that was a lot. I like it. I honestly have fresh bulbs of garlic. I have peeled cloves of garlic. I have this. I have garlic paste. I have it all. So I use all of it. Love garlic. Um, you know, most cuisines do, you know. Uh, Pick one. Most of them have garlic as one of their main things that they do. So, but yeah, maybe that's one thing I can do. Oh, okay. Apparently I had a slight problem, but I'm back now. So, um, a fruit jelly cake. You know what? I'm going to look that up because I've never made one. If I got to see which kind we're talking about. Are you talking about with a layer of the fruit jelly in it? We have something here also where we make a cake and then we poke holes in it and then we put we call it Jello on top of it, and it goes down into the cake. Instead of having a layer, it's in each piece that way. So, so tell me what your favorite flavor of fruit jelly is, and I will look it up and I will talk to you about it tomorrow. Um, Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna have to look up a fruit jelly cake then and see what it is and if I've ever made anything like that. And yeah, maybe I'll give it a try. I'll have to figure out. Maybe I can do that on Thursday. I'm gonna do picnic food. So I'm not sure if that's a picnic thing or not, but is it coming out okay? Is it cool enough? My IT guy. It wasn't quite done enough. Here, let me show. So, okay, so we're supposed to wait till they're completely cool, but that's kind of what the bottom of them look like right now. And for us, we would serve that with just a little whipped cream on top. So, but the whole thing didn't come out. So, strawberry or apple? Oh, and then orange and apple. Interesting. Okay, my veg have gotten to the point where they're soft-ish, and then I'm gonna. This is my secret ingredient with bean soup, and I have two secret ingredients. This is one. I always add a can of crushed tomatoes. I think it just gives it a depth of flavor when you're making a bean soup. So I toss those in there. I use crushed most of the time. And the reason I do that is because then the people who don't like tomatoes don't see them and go, ew. It just gets kind of absorbed into the sauce. And yes, the sauce is a little reddish. Um, and the other thing I do, yes, I'm going to use a little granulated onion and a little granulated garlic as well, because I put it in pretty much every hearty soup, I guess I should say. Some soups you want really light, some soups you want really hearty. And when I eat a bean soup, usually I want something hearty. And frankly, it's 54 degrees here, which I believe is, I want to say maybe 20s for you guys, or teens for those of you who are metric. Um, add some fresh cracked pepper while I cook. And then my family will add a bunch more. I got to fill this up, but my family will add a bunch more of it when we're done with that. So, and then I'm gonna turn this down just a tad. And then this is my favorite chicken stock, unless I make my own. And I haven't made any in a while. So it seems like every time I get a rotisserie chicken or I make a chicken these days, I'm in a hurry and I haven't kept the bones like I should. And I know I can freeze them, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I will get back to it though. A lot of times what I'll do is when it's really hot out and I make a chicken in the crock pot, then I'll freeze the bones for a couple of months till it gets like the first cold days of autumn, and I'll make them then. And then it's so yummy to have that kind of chicken stock, bone broth, whatever you want to call it. So, all right. So that is not a huge, it's not going to be a huge batch, which makes me happy because my family doesn't really like bean soup. But I love it. So, all right, give it one more shot here. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of water, but I have a towel over it this time, so we ought to be good. So, your hamster escaped. They do that on occasion. And then they leave you presents all over the house. At least that's what my granddaughters did. Wow, that had a lot of pressure. It's still going. Still going. That's crazy. So, oh, there you go. Oh, chicken pot pie soup. So good. I still haven't, I haven't, I've tried it once, being gluten free, but again, I think I would have to I think what I did is tried to thicken it. And I think I would have to, what I would do, having done what I did already, I would make a roux and then I would make a thick gravy so that it didn't get grainy, because it ended up grainy the way I did it. I tried to do like a slurry. That didn't work very well. So, yeah, it was over 80 degrees here and now we're in the 50s. So, makes no sense, but it happens. You know what? Everyone's welcome in my family. Not sure I can legally do that from here to there, but I appreciate that so much. Um, I was just going to ask you, Christy. I'm in Ohio, so believe it or not, that is still releasing pressure. I don't usually make that many beans. I usually make about half that amount, but I made the whole bag for whatever reason today, and that's a lot of beans. But that's the other thing. Even once you make them, you can freeze them, especially if you have like a sealer, and they're great when you unfreeze them. They're actually softer, believe it or not. So, Christy, did you tell me what state where you were? I can't remember. So, um, New Jersey. Yeah, you're parallel with us. Where like I've got a friend who's in Virginia, and just being that little bit south, they were in the 90s already this year, which is really kind of concerning for them, especially her. She walks dogs, so ooh, there's a lot of wet there. I'm gonna have to pull the dry parts. So hopefully, ooh, buddy. Yep, that is really wet and wet, hot. Not fun. Okay, so I'm gonna need my UV glove for that because it's hot. So I don't think you guys can see I don't think you can see that, but all right. No, I'm far from 57 actually. I turned 63 this past weekend. So, and I don't lie about my age because why? I've earned it. I have earned every year of it, and I don't take it for granted that I'm here because I've outlived my own father now for almost 9 years. My dad passed away less than a month after his 54th birthday. And so every day to me is a gift. Every day I try to don't get me wrong, I forget that some days. But I also lost one of my best friends a couple of weeks ago. And well, it was a week ago, Saturday, and her celebration of life was on Saturday, on my birthday. So I am dedicating. My friend was really special. She was very good at celebrating herself. And so I've decided to take a page out of her book and celebrate life every day for the next 365 days in her honor and in her memory. I'm going to go grab my other pot here real quick. This one has cooled down a bit. I'm going to, don't tell anybody I did this. So I am dedicating my next year to living fully every day in her memory. So that's how I can go live, do these kind of things, and be very mindful, but very okay with life just being a little weird sometimes. And already in her memory, I have gotten a chance to, I'm helping out a Kickstarter for another creator that I really admire. And she, I'm hoping she reached her goal today. She was very close yesterday, and she's starting a variety show. And I'm so excited that I bought a ticket. And so she'll be starting her show next month. And I made these plans to go to Minneapolis. And I'll be right back. Well, I made all these plans. My son, who lives in California, his wife, his sister-in-law, so his wife's sister, lives in Minneapolis. And I said to him, I think we're going to go to Minneapolis when the show starts. Would you be willing to maybe fly in and we could see you over the weekend? You can spend time with her. You can spend time with us. And he said, well, funny you should mention that. We're already headed there, but we've already got our plane reservations. And I was like, oh, bummer. And I said, so when are you going? And he told me. And I said, I think it's later than that. And then I looked it up, and guess what? Same weekend. So I thought that was really cool. So I will be heading up there. My husband and I are going to road trip. My son is flying. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that was in memory and in honor of my friend. So this, my friends, is a piece of what we call a cottage ham here, and where I live in Cincinnati. But most people just call it a smoked pork shoulder. So I'm going to turn this down a little more because it's burbling away here. And I'm going to cut this up for the two bean dishes that I'm making right now. So there it is. Get that. Get myself a new towel since the other one is kind of gross now. So, yep. I hope she is too. So, she was a person of great faith. And so I hope for her sake that her beliefs are true and that she is dancing with those she loves. But yeah, thank you for that, Christy. I appreciate that. It's a loss for us and a gain for, if you believe in an afterlife, it's a true gain for them, in my humble opinion. And it's interesting because she had a lot of friends. She was single, never married, but does have a son. And she really affected a lot of people's lives. So as we've all kind of said, we're sad for ourselves, but if her faith is true, then we are extremely happy for her because we know she's with some people she really loves other than her son. So and he's a great person and has a lot of, I think he's going to have a lot of good support. So anyway, um, I still say, I know 32 is early to lose a parent because uh, I was 34 when my father passed away. Um, so yeah, I don't take any of that stuff for granted. So don't mean to be maudlin, but anyway, Northern Ireland. Okay, I have a friend who's from Northern Ireland, an online friend. We've thank you. Um, yeah, you know what? I like cupcakes a lot better than regular cakes because I don't know. I guess it just makes me feel better that I feel like I'm not eating the whole thing. I'm a portion person. I need things portioned out for me, and I know that might sound a little silly to some people, but I buy smaller bags of things. I know they cost more, but if they cost me more and I eat less, then I'm gonna call that a bonus. So, and that's just the way I've always been. So I do the same thing. Like when I'm going to make a big pot, like the pot I'm going to cook in tomorrow is about that big. And I make a pot of vegetable soup like that, and it will last me, the last batch lasted me for over 2 months because I freeze it in portions. And then I eat a little bit every day instead of eating even vegetables you can overdo, but that's what I'm making tomorrow is a vegetable beef soup. So you said Northern Ireland. Are you near Derry by any chance? So Montgomery County, Maryland. Cool. I have friends in Montgomery County, Maryland, or near there. I'm not sure if that's exactly where they are, um, but yeah, I've got a lot of friends in that area. But so you're one of those states too where some people think you're further south than you are, but we know the South doesn't claim certain states. So oh goodness me. All right, so this soup is looking good. And with the beans already cooked, they don't have to cook all day. Um, the other thing about beans, if you've not made them from if you've not made them from dried, it really does pay to soak them. Um, as most people know, beans have an after effect sometimes, and soaking them makes that after effect not quite so bad. So I think you know what I mean. Um, I'm not going to say it because sometimes you just never know what the algorithm's going to is going to say. You can't say. So we stay away from things like bodily functions, um, which is funny because some people, I guess, more because they say it's not made for kids and they decide an audience where I want my stuff to be family friendly. That if you have children and your children walk in the room, or if you are under 18, that you can watch my stuff. So because I think we should all learn to cook. I do. It's a joy, and it was something even in college when when I was a poor college student, having cooking skills was the best thing in the world for me because even as a poor just out of college and when I was married before, and when I got my divorce, didn't have much money, and when you can make ramen taste good for dinner, that's a bonus. So um, I've had some lean times, and when you've got cooking skills, you can take a few rather simple ingredients and make something really good from it. So um, I think everyone should learn to cook, and I would love to teach more and more people just how to make easy, good food. And I'll be honest with you, this pot of soup, this is the most expensive thing, obviously, is the meat, but you could certainly make it without the meat. And for what I just used, it was one onion, a few pieces of celery, um, some carrots, which also served for a couple of other meals. So I would say probably, less than $10. I've got I've got a whole pot of soup. I've got a pot of beans that I'm going to put this other meat in. Um, it would be 10, 12 meals. So if you've got a family, and your beans are the way to go if you've got a family, to be honest. So, and this is my favorite part, where I get to taste it a little bit, make sure, see how it tastes for dinner tonight. I'm going to grab a bowl. I'm going to rinse my hands off here because I've got the juice from the ham on there. And just so you know, that the fact that I didn't use a bunch of soap, those are pre-cooked. So it is cooked. It's not raw ham that I've just put on my hands. So this may need to cook a little bit longer, but I'm just going to take like a little bit right here. And we're going to give it a taste. So yes, beans are healthy and filling. A lot of fiber, which in the United States, we do not eat enough fiber, to be honest. And I'm somebody who eats pretty healthy, and I still had to add fiber to get to the amount we're supposed to have. Yes, I agree. Queen of Moods, that cooking can be such a therapeutic thing. And not only that, nothing makes me happier. I always say, if I love you, I will cook for you. So if I cook for you, you know you're loved. Okay. The flavor's there, but it needs more cooking. The veggies are still way crunchier than anybody in my family would eat them. And really crunchier than I like them, to be honest. But, so, the last thing I'm going to do, we'll see if we can plate one of these guys up. I'm going to grab one of my plates. Like I said, I try every week to be completely ready, and I never am. So my wine. I am not much of a wine drinker. I'm allergic to sulfites. So I can eat raisins in moderation, but anything with sulfites, I have a real problem with. So we're gonna see if this worked. I'm not sure it did. One of the recipes I looked at said that they actually grease the cupcake liners. So okay, this one is one of the ones that doesn't have a cherry in it. They're not as pretty as the ones who do. So it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I'm gonna give it a taste because, like I said, this one's actually grain free. It was made with almond flour. And the thing with almond flour sometimes is it can be really, really dense and really, really dry. We use the applesauce and a little bit of yogurt instead of using regular oil, and I think that was a pretty good decision. Having done this now, I definitely would grease put a little bit of oil in the cupcake liners, but otherwise these are pretty good. So that was if you were cooking gluten free for somebody, this is Simple Mills, and it's their almond flour baking mix, vanilla cupcake and cake. So pretty good. And like I said, we substituted their 1/3 cup oil for some applesauce and some plain yogurt. So pretty good all in all. So there you go. Lots of meals. Tomorrow I am going to be back for another longer video. I'm going to make a big pot of vegetable soup, and tomorrow is National Chocolate Covered Cashew Day, believe it or not. And we're going to make something like that. And Ella, if you're still here and you come back, I'm going to research jelly cake, and we'll talk about maybe making one on Thursday. So, oh yeah, avocado oil. Yeah, I'm allergic to avocados. So as you get older, all these weird things start happening to your body. I don't know what to tell you about that, but anyway, I am going to, yeah, I've used it, and then I got the little, what I call the tickle in my throat, which is not a good thing. So, oh, you're also from New Jersey. Okay. I got a couple of neighbors here. So there you go. And yes, I poured my heart and soul into my cooking as well. And I cannot thank you all enough for being here. I will be back tomorrow at the same time, 3:30 to 5 Eastern time. And I hope you guys will come back. We'll make some vegetable soup, and we'll be set for soup for a while, I will tell you after that. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks again for being here. Love you guys. Bye-bye.